I said to you last week, I've just put on a GM. Didn't think that was going to happen ever in my business, honestly.
Yeah, but that's because you can't see the steps you can see now when you start.
Yeah.
Like it's just when you first walk onto the
I
staircase.
know, but even when it's like, oh, you know, have your business under management, be a GM, or, you know, get someone on board to do that. Even then I was like, no, I'll do it myself. Like, why would I pay someone to do that when I can do it and keep the money for myself? What else am I going to do? You know, it's the small-minded aspect of it. And even now, like, it's a journey for me. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe I'll fire him. Maybe he comes in and fucks it up and we go backwards.
Yeah. Also, though, like, I think you need to change the way because it's not like you're leaving the business.
No, not at all. I'm still here. And especially at the beginning as well.
You're just not doing the day-to-day operations, which I think is going to propel you forward in a way you've never seen.
Would you move out of my office if you were me? So go and hire, say I moved into your office to be away from this office.
Not at the start.
Oh no, obviously not. Eventually.
You got to make that call based on how you see things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
eventually,
I wouldn't move out of the office, I think. I think I'd just get a new office where, as in a whole new office building, go somewhere else.
but have a desk here.
Yeah, like, no, or I wouldn't necessarily, I don't think I need to be,
So you would move out of the office?
no, what I'm saying, remove myself from the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm saying if I was to go, say you get a 2-story building and then I go, cool, I will have the office in the top right-hand corner where I'm less accessible to people. Still in the building, obviously, but it's like senior upper level management. You know what I mean?
But if you weren't in the building, are you in the building?
No, exactly right. I'm not in the building at all.
Yeah. So what's the question?
Oh, just out of curiosity, like, do you think if you're going to step into that CEO world, are you removed from the team?
I think a CEO's on the org chart.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think as a CEO, you're not removed from the team.
Yeah. That's the thing.
You still have a level of involvement in the business. You should still have quarterly
without
goals.
I'll have monthly goals. Like, I'm going to be, and this is where it's the good thing is, you know, you were saying the other day, you track your numbers every single day. I want to be doing that now.
Oh, dude,
I have to.
very powerful.
Yeah, and I'm pumped about it. Like, I want to start setting up a graph and actually track it and go, cool, let's see the graph over the course of the year. It's going to go up and down and up and down. But by the time I get to December next year, I want it to be here from here, not there, or not stagnant. Okay, we want to see this growth over the year. And then I can track and they go, cool, we started off with this much, you've taken over, we're now here. There's the difference in net profit, let's go. Here's your bonus.
Yeah, I think it's I think clarity is power, and that's what doing that does. That's what answering those questions does. That's what journaling does. I used to think journaling was so gay, man. Like, I used to think, why would I do that? Like, that's, you know what I mean? I don't need to sit down and write into your diary.
Is that how you started?
Now?
Every day? Yeah.
No, I just fucking go on a rant.
Oh, what's happening, you mad dog?
I don't even say that.
Actually?
No. Sometimes I'll just write about what happened today.
Do you do it daily?
Not really. Just do whatever.
Just whenever you get it.
Yeah.
Feel the moment. And that's good because you don't have that pressure like, oh, fuck, I missed it yesterday.
Sometimes you look back. I'll tell you what the first powerful part is. When you don't remember what you wrote because you're just writing. And then you might look back at like 2 years ago. Like I saw one the other day I had from 2 years, from 2022. And I read what I wrote and I was like it kind of took me back to that moment. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, I still feel the same way about that.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking 2 years later. I shouldn't. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, that's stupid. Maybe it's the way I'm thinking. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's cool. It's cool. It's great clarity. It's shows you how you think, dude.
And how you evolve with your thinking too.
Yeah.
Because of some of those goals that I was looking at, I'm like, dude, it's so like young. I was young and naive looking at that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a silly goal. Like, I was thinking that when I was looking back at from 2018. I'm like, I was thinking so small. You know, but that's good. Like, it's good to see how far you've come. I think the reflection's very powerful when you're looking back at your goals or your entry.
Yeah. it's hard to explain what it does to you. Because it's not like you read it when you write it. You just write it and then it just sits there.
Would you write a book?
If I wrote a book, I would write a practical book.
Yeah, one that will educate and help.
Yeah, like a book where you could learn directly. Like it'd have to be, only because this is the type of books I like to read.
Yeah, same.
Like I want to read a book that's going to allow me to have a skill that I didn't have before I read it. Or teach me a way of thinking that I didn't have before I read it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Kind of like some level of acquisition from it.
Do you ever think of, like, say anyone, any person that you follow, entrepreneur or practical book, like, do you feel that they make their content up or their advice up, like they've thought about it themselves? It's an original idea. Or do you think it's an accumulation of their lessons and things that they've learned over the years, listening to other mentors, business owners, all that sort of shit?
Of course.
As well.
Well, I think about that too. Everything is an accumulation of something.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
Then you can turn around and say, well, did you make up this language? Did you make up that writing? Like you've accumulated something from somewhere.
Yeah.
And yes, you might put your own spin on it. You might give it your own name, phrase.
That's right. But ultimately it's the same sort of shit, isn't it? It's just maybe painted a different way.
So I'll give you an example, right? Something I share at events is if you're running ads and it's not working, these are the 4 things you're doing wrong. I haven't learned that from anyone.
Yeah, maybe that's from your experience. These are the things that are going wrong because I can see what's happening.
Yeah, but I've had someone say, oh, like you don't know, like this part, you're doing this part wrong, or your messaging isn't connecting. And like, oh, okay, like that's a thing. Like, you know, when I was first learning about it. And then, yeah, it's just by learning all them, and then I kind of made it my own thing, you know what I mean? But did I create messaging? No.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, did I create target audience? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess everything is someone else's, unless it's a scientific discovery, it's someone else's. True. Like, unless it's
I was thinking about it
breakthrough in human history.
I was like, okay, I'm going to say, for example, I often put up some quotes on social media. Do you know what I mean? As a quote reel or whatever it might be. And often it's a quote that I've heard from somewhere else that I like, and I'll just regurgitate that. Sometimes I put my own spin on it. Sometimes it's word for word.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why don't I just come up with my own original thing? And then I was thinking, is it really original though? Do you know what I mean? Or is it because of my experience, because of things that have happened, because of things that I do in my day-to-day life? Maybe if subconsciously I say something that I've learned from Gary Vaynerchuk about life or branding, and then it's his words coming into my words, but through my mouth.
Yeah. Is there anything wrong with that?
I don't think so. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I was just curious.
Just regurgitated from, like, isn't it all about the end result?
Do you know where I've noticed that more so now? It's that I've been in the coaching world and mentoring, and we're on stages and stuff like that now. And we're talking in front of people. And it's funny when I see content being taught by somewhere else, I'm like, dude, that's Patrick Bet-David. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And they're claiming it as their own.
Yeah, I've even had people...
What's his name? Tony Robbins.
You know? I've had people pull me up before. Yeah. And they're like, did you get this from so-and-so? And I'm like, possibly. And they're like, why do you give credit? And I'm like, because I don't know if I got it from that person. Like, I consume a lot of different content. Yeah. And if I remember who, and we've done on this podcast heaps, if I remember who, I'll usually say, hey, I remember I watched this video from this person. Yeah, no problem.
Not at all. But it's also, even when we're on stage, I've often said, hey, I've read this book by Patrick Bet-David, and he said this, 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 and this. I did an exercise a few years, like earlier in the year, and I did this thing called a self-identity audit. And that was from a book that I read that Patrick did, and he said, oh, this self-identity audit was really powerful when I did it. I'm like, okay, cool, let me see that. And I'm like, I could help people utilize that in their own business. And then I took it, I tailored it to construction, but I gave credit when credit was due. I said, hey, I read this from Patrick Bet-David. I did it myself. I thought it was powerful. I want to do it with you guys now.
Yeah, I think the reason why you and I have a negative association to that is because we know some people who can claim to fame.
Yeah, that they're things that it's like, oh, this is mine.
Yeah.
And that comes down to just not being, it's that level of being genuine and congruent with what you're doing.
As well.
But then also the same token, you could argue, well, their interpretation of that content, like they've consumed that, they've then interpreted it in their own way and now delivered it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's an element of that too.
The way I see it is,
Like even Kerwin. Do you think everything Kerwin's ever taught and talked about and spoken about, like we were trained by the same person that gave a level of training to Kerwin when it comes to talking on stage.
speaking on stage.
Yeah, that's right. So it's funny, ever since we got trained after him how to speak on stage by this person,
We noticed.
we look at Kerwin and I'm like, fuck, how good's that? I see exactly what he's doing when he's telling you to put your hand, well, when he was telling you to put your hand up, when he's telling you to look over here, when he's using this example, when he's using this certain type of language, he wanted to evoke emotion in his audience. Like we could see those things now. But then it would also get to a point where I've heard stuff that he said that I've heard somewhere else before. Now, I may not go, oh, that is 100% Tony Robbins, but it could be that way inclined.
Yeah, I think some people do it in the wrong way. I also think some people try and police everyone about it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, shut the
And
fuck
it's-
up.
Yeah, it's
Seriously,
like,
man, like exactly. You're doing the same thing. Like, are you that concerned about someone else doing well?
I
You know
was
what I mean?
thinking about this. The action is the action. Like the result, the thing gets done regardless of why you did it or how you did it. The thing gets done.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you go feed a poor person, go feed the poor. Okay? Here's you and I both go feed the poor separately. I tape it and post it on social media and you don't. We both did the same thing.
Yeah.
Like the same thing happened. Poor people got fed. That's it. Now, yes, maybe you can look at it and say, yeah, but he only did that because
You got the likes.
he wanted to go and post it on social media, and why can't you do it without taping it and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, poor people got fed. Regardless of why
How
I
it
did
did
it.
it, yeah.
You know what I mean? The cause was, in all,
The same.
Good.
But it was the same, exactly. It's the same intent happened.
100%. Yeah, we both fed poor people. Now, your intentions, yours, might have been better. But regardless, the outcome was the same.
But also on whose judgment? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's like the person who can do it and not tell, based on, you know what I mean? The person who can do it and not tell, and the person who's doing it for show. Why do people name foundations after themselves?
But I don't have an issue with that. I mean, some people might, but I don't have an issue.
But
Like with taking advantage of a narrative.
yeah, I don't have an issue with it either. But some people do.
Yeah, some people do, but I mean, you're never going to please everyone in life.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too.
I also-
you're always going to get people that are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, you should do like,
I have another thing.
just do what you want.
Every time I donate in, what's it called when you don't show your details?
Anonymous.
Anonymously. Yes, I donate anonymously every single time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't used to, and then I used to think, well, why are you really doing this? Like, you know what I mean? Are you doing this because you want them to know you donated, or are you doing this because you want to know you donated? And if it's like, I used to do it as a test to myself. Like, if you really don't care what people think here, don't tell anyone. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have. No one has to know.
Yeah.
Do it anonymously. Even if you know the person, they don't have to know that you did it. You know, and do it anonymously and never talk about it. Everyone that asks you, so don't know. Because you did it for the cause, not for the effect. You know, and then it's like, does that really matter though?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Does it really matter? If I taped it and you didn't, does it matter? Like, the good thing happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like the same thing with the content. Like, if I go and regurgitate what you taught me, like, and it's good information that's going to help people, does it really matter? I'm sharing what has been learnt. Like, I'm sharing a key message of life. You know what I mean? Because one day, they won't be able to track it back. And if I go harder than you at marketing better, like if I market this message way better than what you did and you taught me, I'll probably get credit forever. Like, you know, there's people like, you know how quotes get attributed to Churchill or something like that. And it's like, do you know if he really said that? Or what if someone said that to him?
Yeah, exactly. Where did he get it from?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? What if someone said that to him and
Ooh, I like that.
That other guy, we got no idea who that is.
Yeah.
But just because this guy did a better job of spreading it.
I've got one of those. And I say it. And I don't think anyone else says it. It's good builders don't build anything, they manage the building process. Right? And I had an old boss say that to me once when I was a graduate. I guarantee you he's never done that in front of crowds. He's never done that ever. But someone's going to hear me say that. Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, and that's
George
a
is a
George
genius. That's a
Passas
George Passas quote.
Yeah,
Trademark.
But it's like that came from
You know what I mean? They came from somewhere.
even if it came from
And
two different people talking.
That's right. It might not even been word for word exactly what he said, but that's how I remember it. That's what I've translated to people when I'm talking to them on stage.
And had you not had that conversation with that boss at that time, it probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So everything comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click just over here. Or if you want to watch the full episode, you can click over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.